Edge Custom Carry followers and everyone watching. Tonight we are so privileged to have Lynette with us. Welcome, Lynette.
Thank you very much, Lenny, for having me.
Yes, Lynette is part of GOSA, part of Girls on Fire, and she is running the show for us ladies. So we are thankful to have her here. If you guys have any questions, if there's anything you'd like to know, please let us know in the comments, and Lynette and I will see how many of the questions we can answer that you guys have. So, Lynette, my first question to you tonight is, where did your interest in firearms start?
I have to actually blame my husband. Met him at varsity in the late 80s. Middle 80s, actually. So I'm very old. Well, I think we went and shot a couple of times. He's always had an interest in firearms. So I went and shot with him in Benoni there was old combat shooting, which changed into IPSC at that stage. Got married in the late 80s, and I got my first gun in, I think, 2003. I got my first Glock 36, started shooting competition with that, but not a lot of fun with the subcompact 45. Still have that gun, still carry a 45 subcompact every day. Got interested in guns, started sport shooting in about 2007. Did IDPA, did that for about 10 years. It was a really nice time. Grew, became a safety officer, and also became the first lady safety officer instructor. So I always tell my new range officers for Girls on Fire, which we're training a lot of lady range officers up, you have to have command presence. So if you people must listen to you on the range if you when there's firearms involved. Obviously, you can't soft voice, you have to have command presence. So yeah, shot IDPA. Then I've been in the travel business during that time, and then started the gun shop with my husband a good couple of years ago, and also started my own shooting club. So run quite a large shooting club. Used to do IDPA. We've moved on to IPSC, which is much more competitive. Shoot every Thursday morning. So I was out on the range this morning at 6 o'clock to set up.
Wow.
It's been a long day. And enjoy it. I enjoy training ladies in firearms and other people. I do proficiency training for competence. I really enjoy actually working with people and teaching them that guns are not that scary black things.
Yeah, I can relate to that. When Eugene and I started to date, I was like, don't bring that thing near me. And yeah, today I like if he takes me to the range and we shoot and things like that. So yeah.
I've never sort of had that feeling of the guns are the big black, that bad things. I suppose I had a really good experience. Didn't have experience as a child. My parents didn't have firearms. But Paul is actually quite my husband is a very calm person. And we just started shooting together at varsity, I think. Yeah, it was the first time where he had at Rand Afrikaans University's sports shooting club. They had a club. We used to go out to the same range that I'm still shooting at now. I had good fun and just taken it from there.
That's amazing. So what is Girls on Fire? We see Girls on Fire everywhere. We see Girls on Fire events. What is Girls on Fire?
Well, Girls on Fire is about empowering ladies not to be victims. We have hashtags like Victim No Longer. And I've never actually very lately I've been seeing that we've had influences on people's lives. We don't need to sit in the background, in the corners and be victims, and men must look at us and as victims. People say men must change. I say women must change. It doesn't help that men says, "Oh, we're not going to put up posters and say we're not going to victimize women." those people are not the people that we have to be worried about. The people that we have to be worried about is the people that stand in the darkness. It's the people that abuse women in the background. So I feel that firearms is the way that women can actually empower themselves, can defend themselves against a stronger attacker. And it's actually more than that. It changes the way women actually look at themselves. I've always said it's not going to, people always ask me, is it going to make you more aggressive to own a firearm? So if you've been in an abusive relationship, are you not just going to shoot the abuser? And I say no. Most of the ladies that started carrying says it actually made them less aggressive. You know that when you do take out that firearm, that it's not a thing that's going to happen easily. It's not something nice, but it can. So it actually makes you calmer. You can decide. You decide beforehand. I always say, get out of the situation. Do not get yourself into a situation that you can probably be attacked. So avoid places that's dangerous. Avoid. Be situationally aware. If you have to fight, then you fight like, and it's my first, when I did an article on Victim No Longer a couple of years ago, I said, fight like the third monkey that's trying to get onto the ark and it's starting to rain. And there's another monkey in front of you. You can fight with everything you have. And we don't need to be second-class citizens. I've mentioned to you earlier when we spoke, my husband calls me his first responder, and it's not because I'm going to respond when he gets if something happens to him. If we're in a situation together, they're not going to look at the old Tanny sitting. They're going to look at my husband first. And I always say to the ladies that I train, you're going to probably have to sort out the situation because they're going to not see you as a threat. They see you as a second-class citizen that they don't have to worry about. And if you talk about two guys, the criminals, they always say they like to be in control. They always see the woman as a weaker person. And the more weaker you look, the more they're going to take advantage of you. People say, just give them stuff. It doesn't happen. The more power you give them, the more they will take from you. And the end of taking your car, is it going to end you being raped? Is it going to be end you being killed? And you have to take that into consideration. Fire is about empowering women. We're expanding the program to also help some abused women. One of our office manager, Ant Gordon, she wants to start actually providing some support systems because it's something that's very close to her heart as well. I'm from the side of teaching ladies to what's out there to defend themselves.
Yeah, I remember I read the article of Girls on Fire where there was a testimony of a lady who actually a sister got raped, and she said she's not gonna. I think it was her sister. She's not gonna end up in that position.
Yeah, there was something that we actually on a yearly basis at our Ladies Stop Shot awards. We do something called the Fighting Spirit Award. It's actually Krista Swartz Fighting Spirit Award. One of my clients, Martin, awesome guy, lost his wife to cancer. And he's always been sponsoring stuff for the Girls on Fire campaign. So while we were sitting in my office one morning having coffee, he said to me, I would like to actually sponsor some stuff. And I said to him, after he left, I said to him, let's do something in memory of your wife, because she fought right into the end. She didn't win the fight. She died of cancer, but let's do something. So this year, the second award was, I'm not going to name her. We call her Foxy. She doesn't want a name to be out there. It's a horrific story. It's an absolutely horrific story. A lady that, it's a black lady, and she was raped by a neighbor. He came back several times. Then she tried to speak to her parents. They chastised her. They said it was wrong. It's her fault. And then a friend raped her after that. And just an absolutely horrific story. When she got onto the range at one of our introduction days, and that's really touched my heart, her words were, maybe I could have made a difference. I didn't have to be a victim. I could have protected myself. And it's more than just protecting yourself. As I said, it's the empowering of your mind to know that you can actually protect yourself. And I see the guys that's giving me kickback. I've had quite a lot of kickback saying, oh no, the people are just going to shoot their husbands and stuff. And I actually think the guys that's protesting that much are the guys that's going to be scared that they're going to be shot because they're the perpetrators. So maybe they protest too much because they can actually see themselves on the receiving end of not being able to victimize women. I don't say we need special rights. All I'm saying, I've always said I'm not, people call me what do you call that word? I always hate it. That I'm not a feminist. That's the right word. All I'm saying is I want to be treated equally. I don't want you to see me as a lesser person. Treat me with respect. I don't believe in Women's Day because I think, like which we're having on Monday, I think it's coming up on Monday. Because I always joke with, especially my club members, and it's like, it's special, you know? We have to be special. We're not special. We just need to be treated equally. And that's what I'm trying to instill still with this program.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite emotional if you start to read these stories. Sometimes I think we live in our own little bubbles and we don't know what's happening right next door, or the street down, and all of these things are happening everywhere.
It is. I've had a couple of ladies that's approached me after some of our training courses and said they fear for their lives. Their husbands have been threatening them. They're trying to get out of the situation. There's been contracts taken out of them on them. It's scary out there. You know, some of us live in quite protected environments. We have happy lives, but unfortunately, that's not the world out there.
Yeah. Marius left a comment for us. He says it's an absolute must for the ladies to own a firearm and know how to use it properly. So it's good if we have some men there that agrees with us.
Absolutely. As I said, Paul, my husband, has been absolutely awesome. As I said, I met him at varsity. He's a chairperson for GOSA. He's a very clear thinker. He's always treated me with utmost respect. And that's really important, you know, and that's what in my career and in terms of sport shooting and stuff, when I became a safety officer instructor, which was quite big. I think I was the first woman in South Africa. There was only 6 safety officer instructors in the country at that stage, and I was the only woman. It's important that you get support, and I've always had the support from him. So I've been very lucky with that.
Yeah. So my next question is, why did Girls on Fire start? So I think you actually quite answered that because of the passion you guys have to actually empower women.
It's a very strange one, and I still thank her. There's a journalist, I don't know from which paper she is. Her name is Rebecca, and she actually made me one evening decide to start Girls on Fire. So there was a police portfolio committee, and I think it was a good couple of 2015, and she basically made a remark that she will never get involved in the gun rights arena because it's only old white men. And Girls on Fire started. So we can thank Rebecca for that. It's not true. There's a lot of lady shooters. You don't know. Have got a lot of women customers. You will not know the ladies are actually carrying, concealed carrying. You just don't know. So, we don't need to. In sport shooting, it's also quite strange. You don't compete as a woman. You basically, sometimes they've got best woman or something like that, but it's not something that you compete on as a woman and a men's team. You basically compete according to what gun you have, and that's it. Similar guns, you compete on an equal basis with men because it's the great equalizer. Think about it. We can all handle guns and then not just revolvers like most men think we should only have. So we can handle guns as well as men, and that's it. We don't need to be strong. There's techniques that you can have to rack a gun, because a lot of guys says, oh, women should have a revolver. It's simpler. A revolver's got a really bad trigger. It's got 6 rounds. It's not a nice gun to shoot. Yes, we can rack guns. We can shoot 45s. I've got a 16-year-old lady, and she used to shoot a 10 mil and a 45. She's 16 years, well, she started at 15. And some guys can't shoot 10 mils. So don't tell me ladies can't shoot guns as well as guys. We can.
And sometimes better.
And mostly they listen. I always say that to my clients. I always laugh at some of my clients, and I know that I'm going to have a problem is when they say, I've been a sniper in the army. Then I know I've got trouble. Because, people have very bad habits. Ladies come with open minds. Most of the guys have got a lot of men clients. And they, I think they feel better training with the women because I don't judge them. There's no testosterone, etc., etc. So, I think about 80% of my proficiency clients are men.
That's good. That's very good. So, if there's ladies out there that wants to get involved with Girls on Fire, do you have to have gun knowledge already? What do you do to get involved?
You don't need to have guns. So we run a couple of programs, so we hope to expand it. Unfortunately, we all have other stuff, but I've got an awesome team of ladies that give up their time on a regular basis. We run an introduction to handguns, and that we do all over the country. We provide guns, we provide ammunition. So during that course, we go through the legal aspects, what's the process to owning a gun. We then talk about different guns, what you should look out for, who you should talk to out there, and who you should not talk to. What guns are good, what guns are not good, why you should go for a pistol, not a revolver if you can, if you have the opportunity, if you can only have a revolver because that's what you have, then obviously you're going to use that gun. We go through the basics of shooting from the fundamentals, grip, trigger, squeeze, breathing, all of those type of things. And then we go on to the range. It's not a in-detail session, but we shoot 3 different size guns on the range. We provide the guns, we provide the ammunition. And we provide all range officers are ladies. I train ladies all over the country as proper range officers under PFTC. And people always argue with me because I let the ladies shoot a very small gun, so like a Glock 43, then a medium-sized gun like a Glock 19, and then a bigger gun like either Glock 17 or Glock 34. I'm doing this and people say to me, don't let them shoot the Glock 43 because it's not a very nice gun to shoot. So most ladies think the smaller the gun, it's very pretty. It's going to shoot very nice. But the small guns are not that easy to shoot. So I want people to have an informed decision when they do decide to go. Obviously, smaller is easier to conceal, but it's more difficult to shoot. So that is one of the programs that we run all over the country once a year, and we run the Ladies Stop Shot Pro-Am, and we have absolutely first-time shooters. I think this year there was 80% amateurs, only 20% that was sort of semi-amateur and professional, so the sport shooters and stuff like that. And there they shoot 8 stages, and they shoot anything from a .22 at a steel challenge stage to a 50 cal at on our Trevella stage. And we do like clay pigeon shooting, and as I said, all my range officers are ladies. So it's a ladies event run by ladies. I don't use men range officers at all. I think at the Trevella range, sometimes the Trevella guys are there just to help, but my range officers are all ladies, experienced ladies that know how to run ranges safely. Qualified people. And that you contribute to. Custom Edge contributed a very nice sponsorship, and thank you very much. We cannot do that without sponsors like you. People want me to do that event more than once a year. I cannot. It takes me like 3-4 months at least of blood and tears. Because it's hard. This year, I think we had like 760,000 rands with the sponsors, which was absolutely awesome. I cannot do that more than a year. I can't go and knock on doors more often and say, like, please give me more. We've had a couple of people that's been absolutely awesome, that's providing me ranges for free. Waterfall Arms has been absolutely awesome. They're in Centurion or Midrand. They've been providing their ranges for me for free. They've provided some ammunition for free. Some of my old sponsors like Buccaneer, Megan have been in the past, been absolutely great. If I asked her for ammo for an event, she would always give me ammunition. So that was one of the very large sponsorships, is obviously ammunition. A 50 cal, if you have to go and buy it, especially in terms of the barrels it goes. So we usually charge about $250 per shot, and the ladies get 2 shots. And I think I think each lady got probably between 2,000 and 3,000 rands worth of stuff, and the entry fee was only like, I think, $350, if that much, $350 around there. So we tried to get most of the stuff sponsored. And hopefully we'll expand into some other stuff as well. The GOSA office manager, an absolute awesome lady, and she wants to start to support some abused women. We've got some lawyers involved. We've got some counselors, etc., just to help people. We've got some safe houses in case people want to. It's right in the beginning, but hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have that up and running as well.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. There's one of the guys that says, I assume it's a guy, most often women handle firearms better than men. I've seen this on more than one occasion. There's no such thing as a woman or a man gun.
There isn't. There definitely isn't. As I said, some guys don't like shooting like a 10 mil. And my 15-year-old club member was shooting this 10 mil very, very well. So, I've been always, my first gun was the Glock 36. She's a little bit of a bitch to shoot. Most men like her. But it's a very nice carry gun. I've moved on to a 30S, which has got the 36er slide with the 30s body. It's got a bit more rounds that I can carry. So, So it makes no difference. It's all about technique. And if you use the right technique and you get taught the right way in the beginning, there's no reason to not be able to shoot well.
That's good. That's good. So, when is the next Girls on Fire event? What's in the pipeline for Girls on Fire?
Well, I know Hannes, in between everything else, which is our the GOSA events coordinator. I know that he's currently speaking to some Funny Range. I think it's about 80 kilometers from Joburg. I'm not sure where it is on a private range. We will advertise it on the Girls on Fire and the GOSA page. I know that we'll probably have another one in Waterfall Arms. So we will announce it. It's just been very difficult with the lockdowns. We usually have events on the Saturday morning and the Sunday morning at all of the GOSA firearms festivals. We had to cancel the Durban one. We had to cancel the Joburg one. We had to cancel the PE one. So hopefully, as soon as we are out again, that we'll go to PE, we'll go to Durban, we'll go to Bloemfontein. And if anybody else wants us to run a private event somewhere else, give us contact us, and we will try and organize it. I can get the girls together, and we can come and give events.
So that's amazing. So yeah, so if I'm gonna give you Lynette's email address and contact number at the end. So if any of you wants an event close to you, get in touch with her. So the topic that have all of us at the edge of our chairs. What Girls on Fire's opinion on this proposed changes to this firearm act that they want to put in place now?
Well, it was very scary. I've gone into quite a bit of detail myself on it. The biggest thing that, we reject the thing in its entirety. The whole thing is junk. There's really very little of it that we can actually use. There's nothing actually. I actually thought that Tsele would have withdrawn it already because of the big input from the public. I'm quite amazed that nothing has happened yet. What is really worrying for me is a good couple of years ago, I wrote quite a long article about #Victim No Longer. And I looked at especially some of the women like Barbara Frey, which is involved in international law, is going to. And that's what I'm seeing, especially in South Africa as well. We've got an inherent right to defend ourselves. It's a natural right, and this comes from natural law. What's happening overseas and all over the world is there's a move towards positive law, which basically says we know better than you about what's good for you. So we're cleverer than you. So that's the people in control, and we will make decisions for you. And that is where, if you look at the preamble of the act, that is the thing that really worried me the most. It basically said where it was bodily integrity and the right to life. The new one said that the police will take control and that they will give you rights from there. So just from that point of view, it should scare non-gun owners very, very, very much because that's really bad. So we'll see. One of my club members got his comments in. It was quite scary. I've been talking to him about it. He looked at the WITS report. I don't know if you know about the WITS report, which was hidden from us gun owners for a good couple of years. And they gave it to Gun Free South Africa, which has been quoting it, but out of context. Actually, the WITS report said that the Firearms Control Act will make no difference to crime levels in the country. The only thing that will make a difference is good policing, and our budget has been cut for visible policing. So that's not going to make a difference. So it's scary times, but interesting times. The Chinese proverb says, "May we live in interesting times," and we are definitely living in interesting times. But we need to. It's really important to. The comment period is over. Hopefully, they're going to withdraw the bill because of the comments. Okay, sorry, let me finish. The guy actually had a 130-page report, 137-page, in very small writing that he submitted at 11:45 on Monday night. Detail why they shouldn't go for this. So there's been a lot of submissions. And it's hopefully they will withdraw the bill. GOSA doesn't want it to stop there. We want to move to something where we're going to license the person, register the firearm. Very important. Because CFR cannot deal with the paperwork, and they're making it more and more difficult. So hopefully we actually want to get it taken away, the administration taken away from the police, so that somebody can run it more effectively. And then just every time license a person, we go through the competency process. We jump through all of the hoops. We are declared competent. They do criminal record checks on us. Why not just, if you want a second or third firearm for sport shooting purposes, if you have jumped through the hoops, you are a dedicated person, they can just register that firearm rather than taking fingerprints again, going through the whole process again, which is not working at this stage. They're supposed to have 90 days for competency, 90 days for the firearm license. Some people said 2-3 years to get a firearm, and that's with the KZN stuff. People have been waiting for 2 years, and what do they get killed because of administrative problems from the police side? It's not right. It's not the right thing.
So if people say, but I want to support that, I want to support you guys taking it further, how can they support that?
So the best thing is to actually go onto the GOSA, either Facebook page or I think it's gosaonline.co.za. All of the documents, what's wrong with in terms of the proposed changes is on there. The lawyers actually analysed, they had a thought of the day or something like that, where they looked at all of the problems. Support GOSA, join them as an ordinary member, donate to them. They're the people that fight for us in the trenches. I don't work for GOSA, I volunteer, but I see what these people do for us. It's a constant fight.
Yeah. There's a comment that says, thank you very much for the great work you do. I look forward to taking my wife and my mother to one of your events, hopefully in the near future. So, yeah,
that's absolutely fantastic. Youngest lady I've had was 10 years old. My oldest lady was in her 80s. So there's never too late to start.
Definitely. Okay, so there's your contact number. I put your contact number and your email address. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, they can just call that number or send the email and you will contact them.
Absolutely.
Yes, okay. So I don't see any further questions. Lynette, thank you so much for your time. And thank you, like that Facebook user also said, thank you so much for the work you guys do. And I don't think people realize how much work is happening in the background, and we just see, okay, there's an event and people pitch, but it's lots and lots and lots of work. And thank you guys so much for everything you do. And we really appreciate what you do, especially for the ladies as well.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank you again from Custom Edge for supporting the Ladies Top Shot event. We could not do it without the sponsors like you. So there's some ladies with some awesome holsters out there at this stage that won some prizes during the Ladies Top Shot Award I think it was in March.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. Have a good evening. And guys, if you have any questions or any comments, please contact Lynette if there's anything you would like to ask her about Girls on Fire, and they will point you in the right direction. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers. Have a good